Welcome back to my channel. Today's an exciting video. I am organizing and setting up my new house. So I will be putting things away, trying out new organizing products. I'm really excited for you guys to see it and to hear what I thought of all the different products that I tried. The first area that I started with was my silverware drawer. In a new kitchen, I swear some of the hardest things is just figuring out where everything's gonna go. So I finally picked my silverware drawer and I picked up this insert from Target, their Threshold collection, to hold my silverware. It's bamboo, so I thought it looked great. Always my tip, if you are picking up something from a store, take the time to wash it out or at least wipe it down like you see me doing with a damp paper towel here. In order to make sure that it wouldn't slide around the drawer, I'm using the museum putty. I picked this up at the Container Store. It's super easy to work with. You can just pick off a small amount of the putty and then mold it into whatever shape you need. So here you can see there's a thin edge around the sides of the drawer organizer. So I had to kind of mold the putty, as you can see, in little boomerang shapes so that it sat on the edge just in the corners. Once you've got that all set up, you place down your item where you want it to live. Be careful not to push down on your drawer without supporting from the bottom. And that's that easy. Instantly, it creates a seal on the bottom, and now that organizer is not gonna slide around. Here you can see me playing around with my drawer. It stuck immediately like glue, and I can tell you I've used it for a couple weeks since filming this. It has worked great. Next thing that I had to do was just actually fill in with my silverware. I was looking ideally for an organizer that had a fifth vertical row. So where you see my spoons and forks, I ideally wanted one for knives on the side. That way I could put steak knives or something else like that in the top. I didn't find that, but that's okay. I didn't look too hard. So I went ahead and just put my butter knives up in the top section, and as I expand my knife collection, that might change. But here was the finished product. I thought it looked great, and with the museum putty, I don't have to worry about it moving around. The next two organizers that I got, I ordered off of Amazon. I found the specific product links from someone that I follow on Instagram, so I'll be sure to link those below in case you want to check out the exact same products. They were affordable and came pretty quickly. I found the quality to be really good as well. But these were some of the kind of treat yourself bamboo organizers that I wanted for my things like plastic wrap, parchment paper, but also Ziploc bags. You absolutely do not need these, but new house, new kitchen, I wanted to take the time to treat myself a little bit, and I was really excited to get these products in. So again, like I said, doesn't matter what product it is. If it's something I can fully wash, I'm gonna wash it before I use it. In this case, I'm just gonna wipe it down with a damp paper towel before I start loading in my wraps. So this one's great. It's got 3 different compartments, so you can do saran wrap, you can do parchment paper, wax paper, aluminum foil, and then this actually came with the built-in cutters on it. So it's really great, and you just slide it in on the side and then pull the paper, in this case parchment paper, through, and then you just slide it across and it cuts right off in a nice clean line. It also then came with a little magnetic compartment on the side to ensure that none of your rolls actually fall out. Both of these products came with their own labels, which was nice for the most common things you'd probably use them for. So here I was able to use plastic, aluminum foil, and parchment labels. They're clear, they're simple, just black font, but I thought that it went well with the bamboo organizer and it looked really nice in the end. So here's what it looks like kind of up close. I will zoom in and show you, but all in all, again, have used this now for a couple weeks since initially filming, and I am in love. Why I was excited to get the Ziploc bag bamboo organizer was because if you're anything like me, you've got Ziploc bags of all different sizes, but they all end up smushed in the back of a drawer. All of the cardboard boxes that they come in start to get cracked, and it just is always a mess. The drawer always looks messy. So I loved the fact that this would contain all of the different sizes of bags in one spot. For this, I also was going to use the museum putty to ensure it's not sliding around in the drawer, because I was going to put this one in a drawer, versus the parchment paper and aluminum foil plastic wrap bamboo container and organizer. That I was going to store in my pantry. More so I wanted it to be movable if I needed to carry it around with me to the kitchen, or if I just wanted to keep it in the pantry and grab a piece of parchment paper or foil out of it from there. Like the other one, this one came with its own labels as well. Quart, gallon, snack, sandwich, etc. So I was able to put those on and can confirm it was easy to label, make it look nice and straight. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so sometimes putting on labels, I start to second guess everything. But it was easy to do, and it came out looking really good. When I said I was organizing so many things in my kitchen, pantry, etc., I was not kidding. Next up on the list was my baking supplies. So I had these in some containers in my last place, but honestly, I just found them. They didn't match anything. They weren't a full set. So I wanted to invest in the Pro Keepers full set of 6 containers, and that's exactly what I did. I think I got this one at Costco for, $30, pretty good price. So if you're a Costco member, definitely check it out there if you are looking for it. But again, first thing with these ones, I'm not just gonna wipe them down with a paper towel. I'm gonna fully wash and dry them before I actually put any baking supplies or any food within them. So I took some time to fully wash out all of them. Didn't film all of that because it would have been pretty long. But biggest one, they're designed for different things. So the biggest one fits an entire bag of flour, which is nice. They also came with some individual tools. So you'll see me putting in a leveler for the flour. And then once that's done, off to the side it goes. Next up was sugar. This one's a smaller container, obviously, because of the smaller bags of sugar. But what's nice about this is the set looks good together. It's secure. It's going to keep everything fresh because the seals are really strong on it. And it comes with specific things that different things need. So powdered sugar has its own spoon that will go in there. The brown sugar was cool because I don't know if you guys use this with your brown sugar, but there is a clay disc that you can get to store brown sugar. The whole point of this clay disc is to keep the brown sugar light and not drying out to the point where it's not as good when you go to use it. I guess moist is the word. Nobody likes that word, but that's the purpose of it. So this set comes with that clay disc, and you'll see I'm putting in the brown sugar. This had been in the box, but was actually pretty rock hard by the time I put it in, so I might have to get some new one. But then I soaked that clay disc, as you can see here, for about 15 minutes in water. You really want it to get wet and sit in the water all the way through. Then it pops right into the top lid right there, and in it goes. And it's going to use the moisture that has absorbed into the clay disc to keep your brown sugar fresh and usable as long as possible. The last container that I did, you'll see I'm only doing 5 containers in this video. I've kept the 6th container empty for now. I haven't decided what I want to put in it. It's a little bit big to put baking powder in, so I haven't done it. So my last little container I went ahead and used for baking soda. And again, this one came with its own attachment you'll see me putting in where you can sift it or open it up and scoop out. So a really nice set. And I think as I go to put them in the pantry that they look really nice all in there together, beautifully organized. Ignore the rest of the pantry, it has not been organized yet, but at least the baking supplies are looking good to start. I got a lot of my organizing products off of Amazon, but this container is one that I picked up at my local Home Goods. I liked that it had a couple dividers that you'll see me put in. And I basically just wanted a clear bin to store my reusable ice cubes in my freezer. It didn't actually need to have dividers, and I was ideally looking for something smaller, but I ended up doing a cute rainbow design with my reusable ice cubes. I thought it came out pretty cute, and now they are clean and in an easy to access container in my freezer for when I use these. I drink almost exclusively iced coffee or cold brew, but not wanting to drive and go get it every morning, I will use those kind of growlers, if you will, that you can get at the grocery store of cold brew, make it at home. So I use reusable ice cubes in that. Pro tip, it will not water down your iced coffee, and the whole day is off to a better start already. In addition to organizing my baking supplies, I had a bunch of different grains that were in kind of pre-existing plastic containers. But at Home Goods, I found these cute glass cylinder containers with bamboo tops that honestly match the style of the future spice jars that I was going to be using. So I went ahead and picked up a couple, used them for things like breadcrumbs, oatmeal, chia seeds, rice. Anything like that is great to store here. I don't have labels for them yet, but I will probably try and order some labels off of Etsy in the coming weeks. There's a label Etsy shop that I like to use a lot, so again, I can link that down below if anybody is curious. Next up is the project I was arguably most excited about. It is a complete refresh for my spice cabinet. I had honestly not really unpacked my spices and organized them yet, so I was kind of designing my spice cabinet for the first time. But I collected materials from a whole host of different places. I got these cute jars off of Amazon. There were a lot of different Amazon stores that would sell them. I honestly just read through a lot of reviews to try to find the most recommended ones that were sturdy, because a lot of the reviews said the glass was thin or easily breakable. And then also good reviews on the lid. They have this rubber rim on them. That's what is kind of giving an airtight seal. And with spices, you definitely don't want that seal to be weak, or they're gonna go bad and lose kind of their potency. So I chose my shop based off of the best reviews. That said, very happy with the ones I ended up going with. And they've been great. I even, as I went through, and you'll see I'm cleaning them out. Like I said, I've said it 10 times in this video and I'll say it again. Make sure you clean anything that you get online or in stores before you actually use it. That said, going through this process of cleaning everything, I definitely dropped a couple of the glass spice jars a couple of times on the grate in my sink, and was really nervous each time, kind of tensed up to see if they were going to crack or break. They didn't. So I have found them to be pretty durable, and they can definitely take a small spill here or there. I wouldn't try dropping them from high heights, but they're more durable than I was expecting. I went ahead and did, I think I got, 24 spice jars to start. I probably am going to expand and actually do 2 full spice cabinets. But in addition to the spice jars, I picked up a couple of the clear plastic risers, 3-tiered risers from the Home Edits collection at Walmart. If you guys have seen my other Home Edit organizing video, I'm a big fan of the Walmart line. It is great value for what you get, good price, good quality, and they look really nice. So I had already had one of the risers, but I went ahead and picked up 2 more. 2 of them are going to fit in kind of my spice cabinet, and then if I end up doing a second spice cabinet on the other side of the stove, that's when I'll use the third one that I have and potentially buy a 4th. All that to say, they work really nicely together. So the jars that I got on Amazon, about 3 of them will fit across, so I can fit 9 spice jars on each riser, and get basically 18 spices per spice cabinet. I debated a lot on how exactly I wanted to organize my spices, where in my kitchen I wanted them to be. For a while I was thinking it might make sense to actually have them in the pantry where I've got some more space and just bigger shelf space. But then I've had them over there so far, and it's annoying to have to walk over to the pantry, which is on the side of the kitchen, every time I need salt or I need to use any kind of spice. So I decided to use the cabinet to the right of my stove, knowing I'll be cooking a lot in that area of the kitchen, so it just made sense. And then I can always mix it up or store some extra spices or duplicate spices in a different place if I find that I'm not actually liking having to go to that area of the kitchen to get them. It took a long time to wash all of the spice jars out, I'm not gonna lie. There were a lot of them, a lot of lids, a lot of little jars to clean out, so that definitely took some time, but it is absolutely a step you cannot skip. Next, once I had cleaned those, they were sitting out to dry, I went ahead and put my risers in the cabinet that I'm going to be using for my spices. So you can see it's the one to the right of the stove. The 2 risers together fit perfectly inside, which was a blessing. And at first, the top tier of the riser was going to be running into the cabinet, but good news is my shelves are really easily movable, so I was able to adjust that up. What you see now is my first spice jar that I put together and the cute labels that I got from an Etsy shop. So like I said, this project kind of was the compilation of a lot of different places. So the jars were from Amazon, and the risers were from Walmart in the Home Edit collection. The labels were from an Etsy shop where you can buy like pre-packaged labels of 20, 40, 60. They'll also do custom labels. So I have some Trader Joe's spices that I love, which I will be adding in a custom label order later on. But I just started with their pack of 40 most classic spices that you'll use to start off, knowing I was really only going to put 18 up there. And I was able to finish 15 of the 18 spice jars. I had 3 that were blank in the back at the end of this project, but I basically need to go and get a couple more spices as I threw a lot out at the move because they had expired or were close to expiring. I will say the labels were challenging to put on and have them look straight. The first couple I didn't turn out great. I'm definitely going to hide those in the back. No shame about it. But after a while, I figured out kind of how to eyeball it and get the labels looking a little bit straighter. For the glass jars, I went ahead and used the 6 ounce, I want to say. And I think they're the perfect size for spices. I debated a lot. I saw some people had used 8 ounce jars. Some people use 6 ounces. As you can see, I'm putting in like typical spice amounts and they're filling up halfway, if that, when they're full. So it could probably hold 2 full normal spice jars. So there's definitely good room in there without them feeling too big or bulky. So I was really happy with how these looked in the end result. And they stacked really nicely on the risers in the cabinet. I will say, and the comment I get from a lot of people is, that's so annoying, you're gonna have to take them out to reach the ones in the back. Yes, I will. But I'm actually able to see, when you're looking at eye level, see the different spices back there. And for me, it's not a huge deal to have to remove one and grab one from the back shelf. It's actually easier than when they are all stacked at the same level and it's just a sea of spices and you can't tell what is where. Thanks for joining me as I organized my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next time.